now that we have our outer gear teeth in and we have our inner 63 diameter in, along with our keyway 32, 38-inch diameter circle, we're now ready to put in 7 12-inch diameter circles that are going to occur and be placed along a 127 diameter circle with a 120 degree arc. So to begin, we're going to click on the following surface. We're going to start new sketch. And the first thing I'd like to do is draw a circle. And my first circle from the center will be a 127 diameter. Upon doing that, hit escape, erase the dimension, and now we're going to draw a 30 degree line from the center, and we're going to draw this up a following. Any length that gets you outside the object, and let's try 30 degrees and enter. And we now have and to double check that, let's draw a line from the actual center horizontally, hit escape, and do a dimension check, checking the horizontal and the angular line to see what the angle is. In this case, it did not go to the proper angle, so I'm just going to drop the following angle, which happens to be 24.44, but I'm going to edit that and make it 30, and then hit the checkbox. Now we know it's at 30 degrees. So we can go ahead and get rid of the dimension for now. And at the intersection right here, we're ready to put in a diameter of 12. So we'll go to our circle, click on the intersection, and type in 12 for the diameter. Hit escape. You can now delete the 12, and you can get rid of the 30 degree line that we know the location of the hole. Our next step is to do a command called circular. Now what circular will allow us to do is pick the geometry, which is the 12-inch circle, and then we're going to pick the axes, which is our 127 diameter circle. And now it wants to know how many of those 12-inch there are, and we happen to have 7, total of 7, and they're occurring at only 120 degrees. So we'll type in 120, and you can see how it placed those 7 from our 30 degree starting point, 120 degrees around that 360 degree diameter. So we'll pick OK. And now we can get rid of the layout line. Now take notice there's a dimension that will stay until we do our extruding. So now we're ready to finish sketch, tilt our shape on the side, and we'll go ahead and extrude under 3D. So we'll go ahead and pick every circle first, and we want those to go excuse me, distance pull down all. We now know it's going to pass through the entire shape. So we now have the circles 12-inch diameter, 7 of them extruded out. Our next step would be to place holes around our center diameter area. So we're now going to click on the center circle. We're going to left click, create sketch, and we're going to put in a 50 diameter circle. 50, enter. We now have, as you can see, a 50 diameter. We will then go in and place a circle with a diameter of 5 at the top quadrant of that circle. 5. There's our 5. So we'll hit escape. We'll delete it. Now we have to place those, a total of 8, around that 50 diameter circle. So we'll now go to circular, select our geometry, pick our axes, which will be our 50 diameter circle. How many? Change that to 8, and they're now in location. So we'll now pick OK. Our next step is to finish sketch, and we're going to put some holes in those locations. This is a new command we haven't used before. It's right here under 3D called hole. Now we're going to make some changes on this. If we look closely right here, we're going to change that dimension, which is a diameter, to 5, and the depth of our drill is going to be 19. And we want to be a point coming out, so we want to make sure our drill point is selected as the default. We're then ready to come over and go to each circle to the center. A white dot will appear, and it will place on there a circle. Make sure you get all the center points. And there you can see our holes are now in place. If we pick OK, we now have those circles drilled at 19 with a point on the end. So now, topping off those circles, as you can see, the point, we're putting another 50 diameter in off the same surface. So we're going to have to click on this, create sketch, and we will then place in our 50 diameter. We will now place another 50 diameter circle in the middle. And once again, hit escape, delete the dimension. And we're going to put another circle, which is a little bit larger, at the same quadrant of that 50 diameter. And this will be a diameter of 6. The other one was 5, if you recall. So this will be 6. Enter. Hit escape, delete the dimension, and you can see it's a little bit larger than the other one. We can now go up and do a circular, select the 6-inch circle as our geometry, pick our axes, which is our large green circle, the 50 diameter, and we have a total once again of 8. As you can see, it places them exactly in the center. We're now ready to, we can delete the circle and finish sketch. And our next step would then be to drill our holes. Now these will be holes also. We'll change our previous diameter from 5 to 6, and the depth will now be 16. And this particular hole will have a flat drill hole, so we'll click right here. So we're now ready to go over, select the center of each particular center, and it turns white, indicating we're right on the center mark. And we'll proceed around and place those accordingly. Then we'll pick OK, and we've now completed the 5-inch and 6-inch circles, as you can see how it looks down inside. We can now go back to our top, and we're now ready to place a few more items on the sheet. And if you look, there's a cutout in this region, and there's a cutout over on this region. So we'd like to place those in. So we would like to now build off of this particular surface. So we're going to click, create sketch, and I'm going to put in a diameter of 140 off the center. So we'll go to our circle. From the center, we'll put in a diameter of 140. Hit enter. Hit escape. Delete the dimension. And now we're also going to have another diameter of 127 again. 127. And delete that one as well. I now want to place a circle at the intersection over on the left side, and this diameter will be a 13, and I will stretch that out to the outer circle, as you can see. Hit escape. Then I'd like to draw a line off the quadrant of that particular circle. Now be careful, it does not snap to the intersection. We're coming from the quadrant of the circle, and we're going to draw that over to the right so it passes through the 63 approximately to this point. Drop it, and we have that in place. We're now ready to come down to the bottom, and we're ready to place another circle, and this will be a 63 diameter from the center, and that will come out, and we'll type in 63, or the quadrant. We now have that in place. Then we can get rid of that dimension, and we're going to draw a vertical line from the center, and we're going to come down a distance of 54, and right at the end of that line we'll be putting in a circle with a diameter of 57. Enter. And we'll hit escape. We're now creating a geometric shape over on this side with some fillets. It will look just like your sheet. So our next step is to do some trimming. And an item I'd like to trim would be inside right here. I'd like to trim this particular line. I would also like to come down and trim away this line, and this line, and this line, and this line. Up here, I would like to get rid of this little mark, and come over here and trim this, this, and this, and this. What I'm keeping, as you can see, also let's trim away this top of this. Now I'm keeping this arc right here, the white highlighted, and I'm keeping this line. Now you can see there's a little bit running inside, so I would like to trim that as well. And I have a nice looking geometric shape on this side, as you can see. Over here, we can get rid of this particular shape, and there's a little piece there. And now we're going to do some filleting. Now our fillets, our first one will be 7, radius of 7. And I'd like to come up here and click the white arc and the line at the top, which is the horizontal, and it gives us this nice little arc. We can then get rid of, hit escape, get rid of the dimension. And using the same fillet, 7, we'll come over here and do the same thing. Fillet with the arc and the other arc, and we get this look. We can then hit escape, erase the 7, and we have one to place here. Now this is a little different. This will be a 12 radius. So we'll go to fillet, change that 7 to a 12 fillet, and we can now fillet this arc and this arc to get that particular shape. Hit escape, erase the 12, and we are now ready to mirror this over to the other side. Now since we still have our 54 line, we'll use that as our mirror line. So we'll go up and select mirror, and we'll stretch a window over this particular shape on the left, and then we'll go to mirror line, and we'll select our blue 54-inch line, and we'll apply and pick done. We can now get rid of the 54 and the line itself. We're now ready to finish our sketch. We'll turn it on an angle, and we can extrude these shapes. Now we'll select them both, 1, 2, and the distance will change to all, so we know it's going to go through everything. And we'll then pick OK. So that takes care of the shapes on the left and right side. We're almost complete. We now have to move down on the same surface area and draw the shapes on the bottom. To do this, we'll once again click on this particular surface, left click, then we'll select Create Sketch. The first thing I'd like to do is put in a diameter of 63 using the center and type 63. Enter. As you can see, we have that. Now I also need to put in that 154, but let's delete the dimension. And I need to place a vertical line from the center coming down at 54 once again. Escape. And I'm putting in a diameter of 57 again. Enter. Hit escape, delete. Now right in this particular area here, we need to put another fillet in. We need to put a fillet in, but we're going to trim to keep sort of the contour of this shape. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim this particular line right here. And we're going to trim this particular line here. And we now can get rid of this particular part in here, and we now have this looks like almost like an 8 with the top and bottom circle. We can now go into fillet, set our radius to 7, and we can click the following radiuses, just like that. Now, another thing I would like to do is put that 63 back in, since we trimmed some of it away. Place it at 63 once again, and we're going to only keep this arc in here. So we'll trim away the outer circle, but we're keeping this part. So we can now get rid of those diameter symbols or lines, and we can finish sketch. Turn it on an angle, and we're ready to extrude. Now this is going to have a total thickness of 20. So we're now ready to extrude. We can now extrude that shape. So we'll go to extrude, keep it on its angle. And we're going to use number 4, which is asymmetrical, and our distance will be 4 on the left and 16 on the right. And then we will pick OK. And as you can see, it has now gone through and is even distance coming out both sides. So we have symmetrical, we have 4 and 16. We're now ready to place a large last circle in this face right here. So we're going to create sketch, and we're going to draw our last circle. Which will be 54 down, so we'll use a line and draw that line down at 54. And we'll place our last circle, which will be a 38 diameter. Escape, delete the 38, get rid of the 54 dimension and the line, and we can now finish sketch. And we're going to extrude it. Under the distance, it'll be all, and then pick OK. We now have completed our gear for this video number 2.